Right. Hello, everyone. I hope you can listen and then see my screen clearly. So before we go ahead with this session, right? Just wanted to let you know that this entire interaction is all about you know learning what is Tableau is all about, right? And then what are we going to cover as part of this entire interaction, and then how Tableau helps any business in order to make them stand out separately or else in a better position when compared to their competitors. All right, so let's quickly start with our discussion. All right, so in this thing, or in this interaction, we are going to cover about my profile and about the organization, and then what is the organization objective and all, and why we are learning Tableau, and obviously the course overview, training highlights, and audience for this course, role structure in IT, project, like where exactly you will be placed once you learn this thing and get a job on top of this thing. All right, and there are some key concepts that we'll be covering as part of today's interaction, and we also have a particular course structure that we follow, and let's also see what is the training overview, right? And we also have a post course preparation and marketing as well. And if you, after that, if you have any questions, then probably I will try to answer you. All right, yeah. So about me, I have around 7+ years of experience in both my IT and non-IT projects, where I have been working as a senior analyst on and then data architect as well, in different domains like telecommunication, finance, oil and gas, retail, cloud services, distribution, wholesale, production, and IT services. So apart from these things, I've been doing freelancing as a senior analyst, in alignment with multiple organizations like mahojase, right? And as part of this entire interaction that I made previously, I have covered so far 350 plus data analytic enthusiasts, from US, Europe, South Asia, on different BI tools, but especially on Tableau, right? Majority of the people were interactions were based on Tableau itself. All right, so along with this thing, I have also worked with the different clients, where they are from US, Japan, Singapore, UK, and also basically that gives me an immense exposure towards understanding how people think, and then how different environments approach data analytics. All right, and got a chance to understand their requirements and all, and that gave me a huge amount of exposure towards the environment that we actually don't get, right? And all these things enable me to create a set of a guidance, or else guidelines for the students who are enthusiastic enough to learn data analytics, right? So along with all these efforts, I got some recognitions and all in and out of the organizations, right? So that's all about myself. All right, and coming to the organization objective, so what is the key thing that we are focusing on today, or else in this entire training program, is that we want the students, or else all the enthusiasts who all wanted to learn data analytics, to train them on Tableau, right? And make them aware like what are the BI tools that are available in the market, and help them get into this BI segment, and that itself will boost a confidence a little bit, right? So, and then they can pursue their future objectives from there on. All right, so that being said, so among all the other BI tools available in the market, why we need to turn towards Tableau and then learn Tableau? So basically, if you can see, this is a Gartner market competitors chart. That is, every year they will release a chart where they will try to analyze the market demand, and then try to understand which are the leading tools. This is not only related to BI tools, right? Gartner Analytics basically helps us to understand the market competition in different segments, right? Wherein if you see this BI category, especially we have, Microsoft, Power BI in the leader position. So as you can see, there are four different quadrants available. All right. So the first one is leaders position, right? And the second one is challengers, and the third one is niche players, and the fourth one is visionaries, right? As you can clearly see, we have four different BI tools that are available in market who are in the leaders position. So this is as on January 2020, we might got a new analysis, and then competitor chart released recently, but otherwise Tableau will definitely be on the leaders board for sure. All right. So there are two different factors that basically affect why Tableau is a little bit in a lacking position when compared to Power BI, right? We are saying that Tableau is competent enough, to be compared with any other BI tool available in the market, right? But at the same time, we see Power BI is in a leading position, and second comes the Tableau. So the reason for this is licensing and the cost. All right. So if you guys are aware, when we bought this MS Office Suite license, Power BI is a BI tool that Microsoft offers, right? Once we have this Office Suite key, they will be offering this Power BI for free along with the other set of Office Suite files, all right, like Excel, Word, and all this stuff, right? So basically, what essentially it means that it's a kind of a free tool, right, that Microsoft allows you to use for your organization. All right. But otherwise, Tableau is on the other hand, a little bit heftier in terms of license keys, cost and all. If they charge around $699 per annum, so that keeps it on its toes in when it comes to cost effectiveness, right? But still, from the competitive standpoint, Tableau will always impress their end users and then clients. All right. So that's why even when the cost is nowhere comparative with the Power BI and then Tableau, it still stands on the leaderboard, because the feasibility and then the integration abilities that Tableau has to offer are like very uh, far better than any other tool, right? You will get to know as you keep on learning more things about Tableau. All right. So in order to answer your question, why Tableau, why not any other tool? So it basically is most interesting tool to learn and easy to use, and the feasibility and adaptability in any organization is pretty much simple and effective. All right. So that being said, what will be learning in this course, and how the course overview, and what will be the tenure and all, right? So if you guys are pretty much interested to learn about Tableau in depth, then we'll be conducting a training program for us, right? Which will be like 5 weeks of a program, where we'll be covering all the Tableau related stuff, not only related to the development environment, but we will also see on administrative activities, and how do we maintain server and all the stuff, right, as an additional benefit to the clients or the students that whoever are interested to learn this thing. All right. And the entire course basically covers the parts of data analytics and Tableau development in a structured way, right? We have a structured agenda where we will lead the program, right, in a organized fashion, all right, so that we don't miss any detail, and then we will lead the program with a clear cut vision. All right. So that being said, what are the training highlights? So this entire interaction will be knowledge based, right? And then you will get a humongous hands-on experience when you are learning. All right. So we'll be providing you practice exercises and then quizzes for you to brush up your knowledge if you already know something about Tableau, or if you're learning new, then it will probably help you to keep on your toes in order to get in line, or else aligned with our complete course. All right. And we were also planning to have 50 plus hours of assignments and 2 plus real time case studies in order to make you comfortable using this relevant Tableau tools, and hence you will be in a better position to use this so far called Tableau desktop, or else in a desktop development environmental uh, related tools. All right. And then this entire interaction will be like 80-20 practical training model, right? So 20% will be teaching and 80% will be your interactive sessions with the tool, and you will get to know more about how to use the tool, and right, and how does it basically work, right, and what are the prerequisites to start using this tool and all this stuff. All right. So the intention of saying this thing is that anything in order to learn, you need to make your hands dirty then. All right. Otherwise it's pretty much difficult for any technology to be learned, right? So that's the motive behind this 80-20 model. And all the way throughout our training program, if you have any doubts and all, we will be available to guide you through, right? And from there, you can take it on on your own, and then even after completing the training, if you may encounter any problem, then if we are in a better off position, then we'll probably try to help you out on that. All right. And so basically we try to give you some assignments and all, right? And if you guys are interested to cover the certification part as well, then this entire program will be pretty much beneficial for you to take care of all the stuff, right, the certification part as well. So for that, we will plan some internal mock test for all the participants, right? And that definitely align you towards the original test, right, the examination or certification test that you are willing to take. All right. As I mentioned, right, we will be providing Tableau certification guidance, and once this course preparation is done, and you guys, whether you are a fresher or else any experienced candidate, and you wanted help in preparing or else aligning your resume towards this Tableau, then probably we will be extending our support in preparing your resume as well. All right. And as earlier mentioned, right, so while preparing you for the certification, we will also try to create provide some mock tests, and then conduct them, and then improve the confidence that students can take up the any organizational interviews in order to pursue any job. All right. So for the same purpose, we'll be having these mock interviews with the professional consultants, right, who are already veterans in their own a segment of technology. All right. So the big question, right, so we'll all be having this question in our mind. So I'm from some some particular technical background, and I don't know anything about this data analytics or else Tableau and all, right? Then who all can take this course, right? So the people who are non-IT professionals who wanted to enter into IT can absolutely take this course, because this does not need any technical background, because so learning Tableau itself, it can be a standalone thing, right? But it just needs some a little understanding of how the organization works and all, but otherwise that's pretty much static, right, in any learning path. So so what I wanted to tell is that even if you are an absolute fresher, then you can take this course, and then start from there. All right. And any entry level or self-taught data analysts can take this courses, like if you are into any Java development and all, and then you got sudden interest on data analytics, right, you are already aware of the IT environment, right, how the things go and all, then you can start with the Tableau when you wanted to get into data analytics, right? And if so, there will be some people like who will be already working as a business analyst, right, and who are working on some other BI tools, like as I mentioned earlier, Power BI or any other tool, right? If they wanted to learn this alternative, then probably they can opt out this. All right. And the majority of the people that attend these kind of sessions were ETL developers, who basically takes care of all the data preparation and all. So they wanted to improve the weightage of their resume by adding up this kind of a BI tools and all. So they will be pretty much interested to learn this kind of training programs. All right. So that being said, assume that you are pretty much a layman, like, and you are not aware of how the things go in any IT industry, right? I would like to help you here, make you familiar with where exactly you play your role and how a general structure looks like in a project. All right. If you can see on the screen, we have business stakeholders who is probably like our clients, right? Who will give us a business, right? As we approach our into the clients as a business, right? And then we have a project director, right? Who will be like helping you, helping the different projects to get the billing done, and then try to understand the stakeholders problem, and then estimating whether the problem can be solved with the current technological segments that are operating under him, right? And so he basically tried to understand the problem statement from the stakeholders, and then try to help them if it is under his purview. So assume that he can take the challenges and all, and he gives the quotation, or else prepares the commercial codes, and then human weight, human effort weightage and all this stuff, right? So once that is done, then we will have a project manager who will be taking care of all the deliverables related stuff, right? Under project manager there may be multiple projects, right? One of the project can be ours, and he'll be taking care of one or two projects essentially, what I mean. All right. So all these three different guys will come under project management layer, and as you can see, we have delivery management layer and then consumption layer. All right. So this the first part of the hierarchy takes care of making sure that they get the business and they properly deliver, and we have the proper resources to make sure the delivery is promised and then delivered in time. All right. So next comes the delivery management layer, where we have a business analyst who will have a peculiar understanding about the current business environment, and then he help us to drive the entire program in terms of a technical understanding, and then in bringing in multiple integration integrational activities, right? With the current client environment, whether we can bring in the right amount of effort, and then right kind of a technology into the client environment or not. He can estimate all the stuff, and then he will be helping us in driving this entire interaction that we planned with our clients. All right. And then we have a project lead who basically controls the effort estimations, and then delivery aspects, right? So assume we have committed some timeline, and then in a team we have a 3 or 4 developers and testers and BA and all this stuff. So he'll be coordinating all of them, and then he makes sure that if they have any problems, he can he will be in a position to clearly monitor everything, and then keep them under control. All right. And he is moreover from managing the developmental activities and all these things. All right. And here comes the main role, as the main part that we'll be taking part of. All right. So we as a developer, right, may work on this data preparation part, and also don't get confused with the terminology that I'm using. All right. So when I say data preparation and all, don't get bogged, right? So majority of the times those things we don't take care of, but whenever it is required, then we will be pitching in, and then trying to help ourselves with the data preparation and all. So I'm going to explain you what is the data prep for our analytical purpose, right? And then you will have a better understanding from there. All right. So but for now, get to know that there is something called data preparation, and then after the data preparation we will be coming up with some kind of a reports where we will be doing some data analysis and all. So there, this is where we operate, right? This is the area of operation. So we fall here, and then we come up with multiple reports, wherein each report will consist of multiple key performance indicators that are directly relevant to the business that we have got from our clients. All right. They basically indicate how the business is going on and all. All right. And once the report is developed, we will publish them onto different Tableau environments, essentially to a Tableau server and all. And from there, our clients will start to consume those reports in order to understand what is going on their entire business. All right. So if they have any changes that clients wants to incorporate in the report that we have generated, then probably they will come up with some modifications. And some teams will have a support engineers where they'll be taking care of these modifications, and then republishing the reports into the server environment. And again, the clients will start to consume the reports and take the decisions accordingly. All right. So this might be a little too much for you to digest at the first moment, but try to understand that this is not a standard that we follow everywhere. But obviously, we can say that this is a stimulus that helps us to get the entire picture. All right. Uh, so and try to understand, you fall under this development, delivery management layer, and then you will be handling the actual development activities. So when I say development activities, it doesn't involve any coding and all those, right? So what all activities that we do, we are going to cover in the coming slides. All right. Hope that makes sense. So moving forward, right? So what you'll learn as part of this entire thing. So as a business intelligence aspirant or as a learner, you will be learning what are the technicalities of BI or as a Tableau in particular, and what are the functionalities of BI or Tableau. All right. So you'll be learning both the elements, and if you can see here, we absolutely need no technical skills. That what I wanted to convey, right? And if you see, what are the essential skills that as a data analyst must possess, right? For the beginner to learn Tableau, you should have these things, and the first one among them is communication skills for sure, because it's not that you will be working alone and all, right? So you need to communicate with the people and try to understand what their problem is and try to resolve that and communicate back with your solution and all, right? So that's where your communication skills plays major role, right? And obviously your presentation skills, when Tableau is all about a visualization tool, it's always good to have some decent presentation skills, and hence you will be able to impress your clients with your design aspirations, and the aspect at which you look when you develop any dashboard and all. All right. And then obviously you need to have writing abilities and listening skills as well, right? And along with that, a critical thinking. So basically it involves full-fledged and fine refined attention that is it is completely required in order to understand the problem statement clearly and provide the solutions as expected, right? So for that, you definitely need good listening skills and the critical thinking abilities. So as you can see, basically I haven't mentioned anything related to technical aspect of that, but what all you can see here is in a simple terms, if you can consider all these things under the conglomerate of common sense, I would say, then you simply need to possess some good common sense. That's it. All right. So that's all what is required, what all is required to learn this Tableau, right? And I have also listed out some other things which are good to have, but they are not absolutely required to learn Tableau. What are they? So the first one is knowledge on SQL. If you have at least a basic understanding on SQL, it will definitely help you as you progress towards learning your Tableau and then other desktop or else any other Tableau product. All right. So it's a good to have knowledge. And then if you have knowledge on statistics, even that will help you, and analytical models and industry experience. All right. So all these things basically help you learn quickly, right? But if you don't have any of these things, it definitely won't hamper your learning, right? But in order to fasten and then make you understand the things clearly, it is good to have these skills, but they are not absolutely required. All right. So from the prerequisites point of view, you can consider that you need to have all in and around all the aspects related to communication. All right, those things are absolutely required for sure. And so we said and we discussed something about data, right? So I said that we'll be doing some data modification and all. So before going to Tableau, let's just look at what is a data warehouse, right? And what does a Tableau do basically, right? So Tableau is a visualization tool, right, where it helps you to create some kind of a visualizations by using the data that your client environment or else your organization produces. All right, example, let us take an Flipkart as an example. All right, so which is a e-commerce platform, right, retail e-commerce platform, where they will sell different goods like clothes, mobile electronic devices, right, and all the other stuff, right, whatnot. So when doing this kind of a business, they need to store their data somewhere, right? Like the product related information and customer related information and all these things, right? They need to store this entire data somewhere, right? So for that purpose, what they do, they will use databases. All right, either it can be an on-prem database or else a cloud database. Regardless of that, they need to use some kind of a database in order to store their data, right? So uh, the place where they store the data, we call it as a database, right? And there are two different types of databases available. One is OLTP system and other one is OLAP system. All right, so what is this OLAP and OLTP basically, right? So when you do a business like the Flipkart again, right, they will have a day-to-day transaction information, right? So today, what is the date today? August 14, right? So today they might have done around, example, 1,000 different transactions, right? Then they need to save this 1,000 different transaction information somewhere, right, on a daily basis, right? So the process of saving the transaction level information on a daily basis, where they will store the information, right, is called OLTP process. And the place where we store all this transaction processing information, right, regular information, is called OLTP system. So basically what OLTP essentially means is your day-to-day business data will be stored in your OLTP database. All right, it is a database where all your day-to-day business activities related information will be stored. All right, but wherein you will have OLAP on the other hand, right? So whenever a user submits any request, example, you are a new user to the Flipkart, right? You will create your own account, right, by submitting your name, address, and pin code, all this stuff. But wherein when you are entering your address, right, there will be some columns that you will leave, right, because you feel that it's not required. Example, address line 1, address line 2, address line 3. There are three different address lines, and majority of the times what we will do, we will try to incorporate all the details in the address line 1 and 2, and we will leave the third field empty, right? So there will be some fields where we will leave out some information that we feel that are not required in the UI, front end UI form. So once we do that, the data that it is stored in the OLTP system will consist of null values, right? Because we haven't entered any data. And just because of that, the data that is stored in OLTP system may not be absolutely, in its purest form and in the absolute cleanest form in order to consume that for any other purpose, right? It may consist of some duplicate values, it might consist of some unwanted data and all those things, right? So what we do basically is that we will clean up this data, right? Once we clean this data, we will transfer that clean data into another system called online analytical processing system, which stores your historical data, right? So this OLTP stores your daily transaction level information, right? And once the cleaning process is done, it will be moved to your historical database. So where it will have your business information starting from assume you have started your business in 2006, right? From there till now, all the information that is related to your business will be stored in here, right? Which is called data warehouse, right? A data warehouse is a large collection of business data used to help an organization to make decisions, right? So a data warehouse is a place where they will store a historical data in order to start consuming that, to understand how the business activities are going on, and according to the observations they will take their decisions. All right, so what do I mean to say essentially is that you have a huge amount of a data that is related to your business sitting idle in your OLAP system, right? Then what you wanted to do is you wanted to understand how your business is doing in the particular region. Example, Flipkart is operating in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, right? And you observe that the sales in Andhra Pradesh or else in Tamil Nadu, right, are pretty much good, but wherein Telangana, they don't see that much of rise in their sales. So they wanted to understand why it is not happening in Telangana, right? When such kind of a similar cases comes, then what they will do, they will start to look back at their business. How they will look back? They basically look at their historical data and try to analyze this thing and understand the exact problem. All right, and once they understand the problem, they will start to think about the measures they need to take. All right, so on top of these the conclusions that they get by looking at the data, they will come to a decisions, right, which are information driven, right? That information is nothing but the data that is stored in OLAP. So in broad, what the data warehouse or also OLAP system helps you to analyze your business, to understand what is going good and what is going bad, and then take informed decisions. All right, so that's what it the data warehouse or also OLAP is all about. And if you can see here, right, it's a simple pictorial representation of the entire process. Just now I have explained you guys. All right, so we have a data producers. Who are the data producers? Us, right? We are the customers, right? We will go to Flipkart and then create our account and make some orders and all these things. So we produce data along with that, right? So once the data is produced, Flipkart stores or else any other organization stores the information in their relevant data sources, right? And once the data is stored, we will have a multiple integration layers where it will be further processed. The data will be further processed and then stored in data warehouse or else a data lake. All right, so these data lakes are again, as I mentioned, OLAP, it can be OLAP systems where they will have a historical data, right? So this historical data again will be divided into data marts, right? A data mart is nothing but a database, a place in a database where relevant information will be partitioned into different marts. Example, what I mean, let's go with the Flipkart example again. So Flipkart has a different automobile, I mean, what do I mean say, electronic equipment, right? And clothing, and they also have some groceries related things coming up, right? So each one belongs to one particular segment of the business, right? Clothing belongs to, I mean, shirts, jeans and all belongs to clothing segment, and mobiles, any electronic gadgets belongs to electronics devices segment, right? So according to the segmentation that they are following in the business, they will save the data in different marts according to their need, right? And hence when they try to create reports out of this data, right, they don't need to refer back to the entire data source, but rather they can refer to particular data mart that they are interested in. All right, so example, I wanted to create a report which is relevant to clothing, then I will only refer to the clothing data mart where the information is entirely related to clothing but nothing else, right? And so what does it ensure me is that I am operating on a limited data set but not on the entire data set. All right, so that's how data warehouse and then data processing basically takes place in your business. All right, so this may not be entirely true with all the businesses. There may be some other things coming in and some other things that may get laid out in this entire thing that I've explained, but majority of the cases you will see something similar to this. All right, So that being said, let's quickly look at so what is data analytics. So far what we have covered is that we try to understand what is the Tableau and where exactly it fall, what are you required to learn Tableau, and before going to data analytics we also try to learn how the data will be consumed in order to do any data analysis and all. But so before going to learn Tableau itself, let's first understand what is data analytics. Right, data analytics itself is a very huge word on its own. All right, we cannot relate data analytics to Tableau alone. All right, data analytics include different statistical models coming in, and then understanding the business data and trying to apply our own business logics to understand what is happening in any business, right? And for that purpose you may use multiple ETL tools or else BI tools and all these things, right? So basically data analytics is a conglomerate on its own. All right, so where under its purview we will have multiple things. All right, but essentially to understand what is data analytics, so it is a process of inspecting, cleaning, transforming and modeling the data with the goal of discovering useful information, informing, taking informed conclusions and supporting decision makings. All right, so data analytics is nothing but, if you are a business you will definitely have a data, right? So by looking at the data that you stored in your data warehouse or else any other platform, we will do some inspecting, and according to that we will try to clean your data and transform that data in a way that we can start to consume that for creating data models, right? And out of that data we will create some report, right? And those reports will help us in discovering useful information, right? If you simply look at the raw data, it will be in a rows and columns format. In order to take any decision, first you need to understand the entire data set and then take the decision, right? So in order to understand the data you cannot simply read out each and every row and column, right? That will be very difficult, and then it's not a human activity. All right, so nobody can look at the entire information and then come to a conclusion in its raw form, right? So for that purpose we will do all this inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and then creating reports, and we will look at the reports to take decisions. All right, so there are four different types of data analytics that we can perform by using the business data. So the first one is descriptive analytics, right? But this descriptive analysis helps us to understand what is happening in my business. All right, so that's a key aspect that basically that we can derive initially out of any data, right? So once you understand what is happening in your business, then you can go and try to understand why is it happening. All right, so once you understand why is it happening, you can then try to predict what is likely to happen, right? So the first one is the very initial understanding, right? What is happening in your business. If you wanted to understand this, you will use descriptive, then you will try to answer why is it happening. The third you will try to answer is what is likely to happen, right? Like we will be trying to predict what is absolutely going to happen. All right, so for that purpose we will use this predictive analysis. And at last we will have prescriptive analysis, where it will help us to come up with the action items what all we can do in order to avoid any evident negative effect that is coming in our way in future, right? um, just give me a second, guys. So yeah, these are the four different types of analytics that we can perform in any data, right? And each type of analysis will give you a certain amount of, and then the type of output that you are looking for, right? So each of these analytics aspects, or way of analyzing the data has its own preference. All right, so if you can see, If you use the descriptive analysis, like the first one, then the complexity of it is pretty less when compared to the anything else, and then the value that it deliver once we do this descriptive analysis is also less, right? So if you can see the complexity versus the value graph, as you start to do multiple analytic forms, right? What do we say, this types of analysis, right? So if you go on increasing your analytics on your data, right, the way that we arrange this type of analysis is purely based on the preference of the value that they deliver after completing that analysis. All right. So what does it essentially say? That once you complete doing your prescriptive analysis, right, it means that the value that you are going to derive out of your analysis is pretty much higher, as this prescriptive analysis will also include this predictive, diagnostic and descriptive analysis as part of this entire program, I mean entire analytics intent, right? So what do I mean to say is, in order to say what do I need to do, first you need to understand these three elements. All right. And if you wanted to predict what is likely to happen, then first you need to know what's happening and why is it happening. So that way, in order to come to a prescriptive analytic model, you need to first basically understand descriptive output and diagnostic and predictive analysis outputs. Only then you can do this prescriptive analysis. All right. So that's what this image basically represents. All right. And with that, we basically understand what is data analytics. All right. So let's see why data analytics. Basically, we all know that every business will have their own data, and then they wanted to know what is going in their business, and they wanted to correct themselves and then make majority of the profits, or else avoid any eventual circumstances that are not good for their organization, right? So while considering those things, we have basically categorized this area of applications into three different things, right? And, you can consider them as reference, right? These data analytic applications are not limited to the ones that you are seeing on the screen, but analytics can be applied and performed on any business. All right. But for an example, we are showing this a handful amount of platforms. All right. So when coming to planning, you can apply data analytics. So how does they help? They will try to understand what is the risk in their business, and data simulation. All right. And when they wanted to do a statistical sampling and then understand what how the business trends are going on, then probably they can apply this data analytics. All right. And we will have applications in audit executions and reporting. So audit executions, like something fraud indicators, like example, you have came up with some analysis where you will have a fraudulent transactions identified, and then you will foresee them one step ahead, and then you will try to avoid them by taking proper decisions in the business. All right. And you will predict the risk, and then do a risk identification as well, right? And then continuously controlling and monitoring your business. Like if you have a live data connected to your reporting, then you will continuously monitor what is going in your business, and then you will try to control the eventual circumstances. All right. And the third area of application that we can name is reporting, where we will do risk quantification, right, and real-time exception management and root cause investigation, right? When we say RCI, right, basically something bad happened in your business, and now you wanted to understand why it's happened. Okay. Even those kind of scenarios, you can make use of this data analytics, and for that purpose we definitely need to make use of the business data that is lying in your data warehouse. All right. So that answers why data analytics. To in order to do all these kind of different activities in different type of businesses, then we can use data analytics in there, and then it will give us the relevant output in order to help our business grow. All right. So how do we do the data analytics? As I already mentioned, right? Any data analytics definitely require data to analyze, right? So the first thing that we do is we will discover what is the specific area in my enterprise needs data analysis. Example, a business has three different segments, right? Segment A, segment B, segment C. So if something went wrong in your segment A of your business, then you will first need to understand that you need to look at segment A, right? So that identification and discovery should happen first. So we will answer ourselves where exactly in my entire business I need to look at. All right, that's the discovery part. And then once you get to know where to look, then you will say what to bring, right? So once you understand the area exactly where you need to do our analysis, you will pull the data that is relevant to your the particular segment, example segment A, and you will bring all the data that is relevant to segment A and transform that or else clean the data to consume in your reports. All right, once the cleaning process is done, you will try to create some reports, right? Each report might consist of multiple KPIs. What is a KPI? It's a key performance indicators that basically helps us to understand how the performance in a particular standpoint, like from the business sales standpoint. If you wanted to understand how your business is doing, then you will basically look at sales of a business is a KPI itself. All right, so you will see n number of metrics such as sales, and then try to understand how they are varying according to the time and situation, and you will take the respective outcomes of it, and then you will try to evaluate the business current business situation, and then you will take informed decisions. So these reports basically reveal some output, right? If the sales in 2020 is falling down, that may be due to your business is working out very slowly, or else your business is not completely aligned with the business models that are required in the pandemic situation, and hence your business is decaying in its performance, right? So that kind of a similar analysis you can perform on your data by evaluating your data, and the KPIs that you create will reveal some output. All right, and out of these outputs that your data revealed, you will look at them, you will try to understand what exactly happened, and then you will take informed decision. All right, so for all this purpose, what we use a common platform called business intelligence. All right, where you will come up with a business, you will think how to take care of this business, you will see what all are the parts of your business, you will bring in your data, you will plan reports, and then you will reach your goal, and then you submit your reports, and your report will be delivered, and hence the value is observed by the customers. All right, so that's how a data analytics works in a simple term. So this is a 10,000 feet eagle view, guys. We haven't yet deep dive into data analytics, but then try to absorb what all are basic understanding that we intend to provide you. All right, so as I mentioned, right in here, all these things we can take care in a business intelligence itself. So how Tableau takes care of all these things? All right, so I said we have a very huge amount of data. First we need to clean that, and then convert it into proper shape, and then consume that in your reports and generate reports and deploy those reports in the server so that clients can see at the reports and take their decisions, right? So for that purpose, Tableau as a single entity has come up with multiple products, right? These are all Tableau products that are currently available in the market, which help us with individual activity, and each of them has one area of application. All right, so let's first start with the data prep. All right, so Tableau has a product called Tableau Prep Builder or a Tableau Prep, right, which help a user to basically prepare their data in order to convert that into proper shape to consume that in the development of a report. All right, so basically Tableau Prep help users to prepare the data into an absolute cleanest form of it, right? So for the data preparation part, you will use this. Once your data is prepared, you will use that in a Tableau desktop, which is a development application where you will do your report development. Okay, so Tableau desktop is nothing but an application where you actually generate your reports. Okay, a report may consist of simple bar graphs, line charts, multiple different simple charts. All right, so that's where you actually take the output of this data prep and then consume it in the your development environment and generate the reports. Once the reports are generated, you will publish them into server where your users will be connected to. They will see these reports that you generated, right? And then they will play around with the reports and understand the outcomes of the report. All right, so as you can see, Tableau server is the one which will help us to publish the reports in and also manage the users and their accesses. Okay, so this is where you can take care of your administrative activities of your analytical platform. All right, so similarly, this is a licensed on-prem server that needs installation on your one or the other processes. But Tableau is also offering one online version which is similar to Tableau server. This is basically for the individuals or else any organizations which wanted to use the Tableau server and try to understand how exactly it is, right? So this is a cost free, right? Any user can create their own Tableau online site. So this Tableau online is nothing but Tableau server online replica. All right, this is an on-prem system which needs installation and all, but this is an online version. The installation and all the hosting and all will be taken care by Tableau itself. You can simply create your own site and then you can use all the options that are basically available in Tableau server. All right, so this will be available for everyone. Okay, and then we have a Tableau public, right? So basically Tableau public is nothing but a public or a community forum, right? Which will allow all the Tableau users to come together and discuss the multiple ideas and then share their thoughts and all. So which is basically like your Facebook. All right, so where you will create your account and then connect with multiple friends and then share your photos and videos, right? Similarly, Tableau public is a community platform which will help you to connect with multiple people who are using this Tableau or else having the similar interests on Tableau. All right, so basically this is the area where you can meet multiple people and see their work and learn from there, or if you have any thoughts you can share them, right? And all those things you can do here. And we have a Tableau reader which is basically a reader application, right? You assume that you have created a report in your Tableau desktop and you wanted to show that to your clients, right? Your clients want to read how the report is, then you can make use of this reader. All right, this reader application allows users to read only. They cannot do anything else, but they can simply read the report that you generated. All right, they cannot manipulate your report that you created and all right, so this is a reader application basically. And similarly, we have mobile application for Tableau as well, which is called Tableau Mobile. All right, uh, so which will help you to use your published dashboards or also workbooks inside your server to see from your mobile itself. All right, so once you install this Tableau mobile application into your mobile and log in with the required credentials, you will be able to see all the reports that are already published in server by logging into respective environment. All right, so apart from this, there is something called Tableau Student, guys, which is a Tableau desktop version only, but this Tableau Student is for students only. All right, the students who are pursuing graduation or else any other thing, if they are interested to learn about Tableau, what they can do basically is that Tableau desktop is a licensed software, right? So for the students, what Tableau is doing is, if they submit their identity card and all, they will be allowing students to use this application for free for 1 year. Okay, otherwise, if you are any outsider and a regular user, you wanted to see how this software looks like and what are the features available inside it, you can download the trial version of Tableau desktop, which is available for 14 days of a free trial, and you can check out all the options in the Tableau desktop. All right, So these are all the different Tableau products available in the Tableau platform. All right. So there are multiple things that are available like TabMon and all, which will be helpful to monitor your server activities and all these things. Okay, but those are pretty much like from the architect point of view, right? But otherwise, as we starting to learn about Tableau, it's just that we stick to this handful of things. All right, so moving on. So we understand that what is Tableau, what are the Tableau different products that are available in the market, and what all are required to do data analytics and all, right? Assume that you have learned Tableau, right? And once you join organization, what are your roles and responsibilities? All right, who is a BI analyst, or else in simple terms Tableau developer, right? BI is nothing but business intelligence, right? Tableau is one of the business intelligence tool. All right, so inside BI we might have other tools which I have mentioned earlier, like Power BI, ClickView, and all those things. But even if you are a Tableau developer, you can call yourself as a BI developer, because Tableau itself is a BI tool. All right, so as a BI developer, he or she will be involved in researching and planning the solutions for existing problems within the company. All right, by using the the so-called data that they stored in their data warehouse and all. And then they work with both technical teams and decision making bodies and provides the data driven insights into business. These insights are used to take business decisions, as we discussed earlier. All right, and coming to the responsibilities, so basically you will start with the requirement gathering, right? Your client may come up with some problem statement. You will try to understand what exactly is the problem statement, and then you will gather all the requirements in order to solve that problem. All right, and then you will do some planning for the delivery of your project, right? And what are the resources needed, what is the time required, and all those things. And hence once that is done, you will do a technical assessment, right? Whether you have a required softwares with you, or required version with you, required connection information with you, and permissions are available for you or not, all these things. All right, and then you will develop a report and test it and then publish it into your server. Once the report is submitted, then you will end the delivery program there itself, and then you will seek the approval from the client. Once that is there, they will also be providing you some feedback and all, right? So it's not that the report that you submitted will be absolutely completely aligned with the customer expectations, right? Sometimes it may be deviating, and then customer will give us a feedback, and according to that you will do some changes, right? That's where your delivery and the feedback comes in. Once that is done, and according to the customer feedback and all, you will be doing some maintenance of the report, right? So here on the step 5, you will end your delivery program, and from the step 6 you will start to maintain that report, just in case if something went wrong in the future. Then you'll probably take care of this maintenance activity. So it can be you, or else a separate supporting team that will be helping you to maintain this report that is already delivered. All right, so these are responsibilities broadly described. All right, and sometimes some additional things that may come up in multiple projects, right? So not to cover anything in depth, I just described, or else given a gist of responsibilities where you will be taking part of. All right, so we understand what do we do once we go inside, right? But now, before we learn anything that is too much technical for us, let's just see what all are the topics that we cover as part of this entire training program, right? The first thing that we do is we will try to introduce you to data analysis, right? What is the data analytics, how do you do it, and all those things, right? And then next we will cover the architecture, right? Starting from the understanding how the background of a Tableau works, and then how do we install, and all those things will be taken care in this training program, right? That's where we have a separate activity called Tableau environment setup. And then we will be introducing you to the UI UX and marks explanation. So basically this is introduction to the tool. All right, and then you will have something called extract creation, and then some other internal technical things that will be coming up. And then these are all the basic things that we will cover, and inside these things we will deep dive into each and every topic and then cover them in depth. All right. So but just for an understanding and then give you what all we are going to cover, we have listed out all the activities that we will do, but the list is not limited to this. We will be covering a lot of the things once we start to learn Tableau. All right. And as part of the entire training program, we'll be also looking at the data blending and creating complex charts. How do we make sure that the dashboards are performing well, right? And how do we publish them into server and all, and then inside the server or online, how do we see the reports are published, and how do we manage the reports, and how do we provide access to multiple people in order to consume these reports and all right. So these are some of the topics that we'll be covering in our entire training program, but otherwise list is not entirely provided over here. It will further expand, and then we'll have multiple drill downs inside each of the topic. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, training overview, we have categorized that into a structured way, like we have planned it into 5 weeks, and each week what all we are going to cover has been displayed over here. If you are interested, then you can take a snippet of it and then keep it for your reference. All right. But otherwise these are all the things that how we scattered, and we will absolutely follow this model that we have created over here. It's a complete 5 week program, and we will stop it there and then whenever it is absolutely required. All right. So what are the post course preparation and the marketing things that we help students with is that as I mentioned earlier, we will help you with the resume preparation, if you want any. All right. And we will have interview preparation, like we will try to help you what are the expectations out of you when you prepare your resume, and then if you are a fresher, what will be expected out of you, and if you're an experienced guy, what will be expected out of you, and all those things will be covered in terms of interview preparation, right? And what are the we will also cover things like what are the technical aspects that interviewer may cover, and how you need to answer them and all right. So for that we will have all the interactive sessions and all. Once that is completed and you feel comfortable and then confident, then we will invite you for a mock interview, where we'll be interviewing you for 10 to 15 minutes in order to understand how far you are comfortable with the particular technology. All right. So these are the additional things that we will help students with to make them comfortable with the tool or else any technology. All right. So that being said, I will leave the stage to you. So if you have any doubts, please do drop out your messages in the comment section so that we can take them and get back to you whenever we get to see them. All right. Otherwise, if you have any questions, you can directly reach out to Kala, and the contact number is also provided over here. I hope this entire 1 hour or so odd interaction has helped you understand how the data analytics works, and what is Tableau, and what are the tools available, and what are the learning paths that we offer you as part of this training, and how easy it is to learn. All right. So Tableau is for absolute beginners, guys. And anybody can Tableau, and it is anybody can learn Tableau, and then it is absolutely easy to learn. All right. So if you have any questions, do drop a message or else reach out to this number. All right. Then that being said, I will take a break and let's call it a day. Adios.